This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay McLovin. We got OG Tony, Chris Gonzalez, and I might as well say it. I guess we have to acknowledge me, the ESPN champion, Frankie C on board. He's the only one out of all of us that still has a team in the fight for the NFL playoffs. Tony, you got the show, baby.
Yeah, man. Two pretty good playoff games. One in some really bad weather that affected it in the second half, especially, but both pretty good games. Let's jump right into it. Let's jump into this New England-Denver game. New England had 206 total yards of offense, 65 passing, 141 yards rushing. That really helped them a lot. The field goal kicking for both teams struggled with that weather. They were 1 of 3, New England was, but they did hold the ball 33 minutes with that running game, which I think helped them. Denver, 181 total yards of offense, 102 passing, 79 rushing. Big thing that killed them, of course, was 0 for 2 field goals, but the big thing that killed them was those 2 turnovers. And both teams played good defense. It was a hard-hitting game. Let's jump right in with Frankie. Frankie, your thoughts on this big win for your New England Patriots?
I gotta get my AFC Championship Super Bowl bound voice out. Sorry. It wasn't dominant to me. Like you said, it was defensive game. Weather definitely impacted this game in the second half. I mean, Stidham actually played really well, better than Drake May in the first half. But then once the weather came down and then Mike Vrabel and the defense seeing that Stidham couldn't do anything in the weather, you can clearly see that the Patriots were on, all right, we're just going to win this by defense. With Drake May throwing balls away on third downs and not even trying to get a first down. They just said the hell with it. We're just going to run with the defense and win this game. We already got the lead. I think what really killed them, Tony, and you're right, the 2 turnovers killed them. But I think what really killed them was them going for it on 4th and 1 instead of going for the 3. If they would have just went for the 3, it would have been a tie ball game, 10-10. But they didn't. It worked out on our favor. That's what happens when you get aggressive early. I guess you're not learning from, Dan Campbell and what he did this season, trying to go on being aggressive all year, and it didn't work in his favor this year. But I do feel that it would have been a better game if Bo Nix was in there. I feel like that if Bo Nix was in, Denver could have easily had this game, no doubt about it. But he wasn't in there. Jarrett Stidham was. Sean Payton, trying to get aggressive. Didn't work in his favor. Worked in our favor. Thank you. Now we're back in the Super Bowl, baby. Back where we belong, at the rightful spot. And we got to dance again with the Seattle Seahawks. I can't wait, and it's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm yelling at my TV. I said, "Kick the damn field goal! What are you doing?" I mean, you've got your backup quarterback in there. He already made a big play for you. Get up 10-0 and try to win this game. I understood what he was going for. You get that first down and you get another touchdown. You go up 14-0. You feel like you really took control of the game. But I think 10-0, and it proved out. I mean, I don't know if they knew what weather was coming in or not. I think it was a huge mistake. That it is what it is. I mean, he took a chance and it didn't work out. Chris, your thoughts?
You're absolutely right, Joe. If Bo Nix was in there, Denver would have beaten Denver.
It was a good game. Even for a lower scoring game, it wasn't like a boring game to watch. It was a good game to watch. Defensive battle. I agree. Sean Payton really hurt their chances of winning this game in that first quarter. Especially when you have a backup quarterback, even with your starting quarterback, when you're in the playoffs, points are at a premium. And especially in a game where you know that the weather is going to get bad, so there's even more chance that in this game the points are even more at a premium. And we see everything just Sean Payton. We see teams do all this playoffs. Hell, even the other game last night, we We saw that. We saw McVay do it. You pass up these field goals early in games, and it comes back to haunt you. That first half, everything went Denver's way in that first half, other than you go for that and don't get it, and then the stupid turnover by Stidham, they end up giving them that touchdown. You take away those two things, you kick the field goal and you don't make that stupid turnover, you're up 10-0 going into the half. Instead, you're down at halftime. So like it was just I thought Sean Payton kind of put themselves in a hole there, didn't take advantage of the opportunity they had. And then New England's defense was good all day and done what they had to do to get them there. I think Super Bowl is going to be a good Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, I really thought Denver, when he got that first touchdown pass to Sutton, that 6-yard pass to Sutton, I was like, okay, hey, you know what? Maybe Stidham, maybe this dude can get it done against New England. Maybe, or at least he'll keep him in the game. And he did keep him in the game for the most part. Now, yes, he obviously had the 2 turnovers, and that's obviously the fatal flaw in this game, right? But at the very beginning of it, I really thought when they got that first touchdown, okay, maybe we're going to have a game here, I think one of the things that kind of confused me was why was the run game was so much more important or so much more effective than either one of their passing games. And Frankie, you know what I'm talking about. Your boy only had like 86 yards, but I think he had like 70 or 65 yards rushing. And it's interesting because with the snow on the ground, I thought that would have been the harder part of the game. I thought the rushing might take a bit of a downturn because of the snow on the ground, maybe slipping and falling, whatever. I thought the passing game might be more effective because, like we talked before, the snow doesn't really make your grip up. It just makes it cold, unless it was strong wind. And then they had the 2 missed field goals on Denver's side. Yeah. And then Denver had those 2 missed field goals. So I agree with you, Tony. I still think they should have kicked it regardless, but I think that they didn't have confidence in Lutz because of the other 2 misses. I think maybe he said, hell with it. We're going to try it on 4th down. He's talking, but Christian muted though, Bubba.
But that's my thing. I know I'm muted, but that's my thing.
Okay.
You pass up a 20-yard field goal in bad weather that's makeable, and then you attempt 48, 50-yard field goals that are almost impossible to hit in that weather.
Exactly.
That made no sense. If you're going to attempt those, you got to take the give me one.
And I think when they look back at that tape, if I'm the general manager, not that you're going to question Sean, Sean Payton, he has a reputation for being a good coach. He's done a lot of good things. I think this game here, though, coaching wise, I don't think this was his strongest game, and I think we all agree. The defense showed up for Denver. Look, that guy sacked Drake Maye 5 times. Now, granted, Stidham got sacked 3 times, so it is what it is. I think but they showed up. It's just I don't know why they didn't pass more. I felt like that, and not that they didn't pass. I mean, he had like 230 yards, but I don't know, man. It was an interesting game. It was a lot of defense, but I do think that Drake Maye, this was an off game for him. And I know the snow was there, Frankie, and I know that was a big factor and things like that. And I know it's probably cold, mile-high air, all those kinds of things we can say. But at the end of the day, if he goes up against this Seattle team with this kind of effort, y'all are done. It's a wrap. So I do think that they're going to have to look at this game and really, and I know they will, and they'll probably rectify and get it squared away. But if they don't, and they run up against the number 1 defense right now that we just saw, and again, that was a major shootout. But if they go up against that defense and that offense that can generate points, unlike Denver, that's going to be a rough day for New England. And that's the thing, Frankie. I'm telling you, don't let them jump on you early because I don't know if they're going to relinquish it.
Yeah, personally, I think Denver, and I know Seattle gets a lot of the accolades and the number 1 defense. Personally, I think Denver's got a little bit better defense than Seattle. That's just my opinion.
Seattle is the number 1 defense.
But they do have a lot better. Seattle does have a lot better offense than Denver. But I think the key for New England will be running the football. I think if they can run that football against Seattle with some success, and the Rams got 114 yards rushing on them. I think if New England can run that ball, I think that'll get them in the game, and I think that'll open things up for the quarterback, and I think it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, Joe, you're not wrong. I mean, I think he made a mistake when he's saying, but at the end of the day, I think he still no. He said he messed up and put Denver there, but I think he clarified it when he said Denver beat Denver because they did. Those 2 turnovers really cost them.
He didn't know.
And
First
also
of
the
all,
field goals. I'm not going to
that's
say
not
that
what he said.
that field goal hurt them too, Chris. I'm not saying that those field goals was an issue as well. I mean, but I think they hurt themselves.
Every
of all,
time a
that's
team
not-
loses, we can't say, "Oh, they
Thank
beat
you, Chris.
themselves." You got
Thank
to
you.
give the other team credit. I heard
He's
the
been
same.
saying it for-
I heard the same thing when Indiana beat Ohio State, when Indiana beat Miami. Now with New England, or every game, if a team that somebody wants to win, don't win. Oh, we beat ourselves. We're a better team. We just turned the ball over. Why'd you turn the ball over? Because that team forced you to turn the ball over.
Thank you. Chris.
Okay, you can. Okay,
You
and I get that.
You got to
I
give
get
the team
that.
that wins credit. Like,
But what about the coaching on those
we
field
do that
goals?
too much as a society where it was always their fault. Denver beat themselves. Yeah, they made some mistakes, but why'd they make those mistakes? Because of New England, just like Miami. Miami made some mistakes in that game. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, Carson Beck is a fraud. He proved that he wasn't worth that money. He got them to that point, to the national championship game. So how big of a fraud is that? He made one bad play. He made one bad play in that game, and everybody wants to talk. Oh, it was all Carson Beck is just terrible. No, IU's defense made a great play.
IU's defense was great. I would never say that.
And
I would never say that.
I'm just using them as an example, but you got to give the team that makes the plays credit at some point.
And I give New England credit for what they did. I'm not saying they played bad. What I'm saying is, and I think we all agree. Number one, like you said, Chris, you don't go for the 20, but you go for the 48. You missed the 48. What if he makes that? So you can put that on him, and then he goes on 4th down. Well, if he'd have kicked the field goal, that's 6 points right there. They only won by 3. You make those 2 field goals, then you win by 3. I mean, I do think there were some coaching issues there, is what I'm saying.
Honestly, I think it was going to be hard there in that 4th quarter for anybody to make a field goal.
Right.
That wind was swirling. I mean, New England was one of 3 field goals. New England was, and Denver was 0 for 2. I know what I mean. I understand what Peyton was going for. In his mind, he thought, "Hey, man, if I can get up 14-0 with my defense, they're not going to beat me. This is a knockout." But I think that's what he thought in his head.
And at that
time, if it had worked out,
if he could have got to 14, he would have won by 4. I mean, I agree with you on that logic. Yeah,
but at that time, I didn't agree with it.
At that time, our defense really, for some reason, we wasn't clicking just yet. It was still early. We couldn't stop Jarrett Stidham or that offense for a minute. So I feel like that's why he got more aggressive. It was a 4th and 1. And he's over here thinking, listen, we're driving down the field on these guys. We're having a good shot. Why go for 3, when we're looking pretty good? We can get this 4th and 1. But you thought wrong, mother effer.
All right, guys, let's jump into Seattle and the Rams. Seattle winning the game, a shootout, like Jay said earlier, 31-27. Seattle 396 total yards of offense, 321 passing, only 75 rushing. I think they missed that second running back. I really do a little bit, but they did win that game anyway. The Rams 496 total yards of offense, 365 passing, 114 rushing, and a turnover. Jay, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, like I said before, I think one of the big things that hurt them was Smith and him mishandling those two kickoffs. That he fumbled. Obviously, one of them got recovered by the Rams, got recovered by Seattle. So I think that was probably the first big thing. The second big thing was probably the turnovers not the turnovers, but just the fumbles and stuff like that happened with Stafford. Early in there, I think he had one fumble as well. I think Stafford did, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had also one interception, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going back in my brain. I might be wrong on that. If I was wrong, clarify me on that. But I think there was also.
I thought they only had one turnover.
Okay, I might be wrong. I might be thinking different. But either way, I think one of the big things for me was Seattle's defense showed up. Rashid Shaheed with that big 54-yard catch, that was huge. I think Cooper Kupp showed up. He didn't have a lot of catches, and neither did Rashid Shaheed. But the one he had was huge because if you don't make that 51, well, then you're giving the ball back over. So that was a huge play right there for them. I thought the fact that they did the screen pass over to Walker, and then Walker was able to go up the field, that was a huge play that they couldn't deal with. I thought Darnld played a hell of a game, man. I mean, the guy had no turnovers. And I said it before, and I think you guys know this, that if you put pressure on Darnld, 9 times out of 10, just like with Brady, if you put pressure on Brady, that they're going to make mistakes. But if you give them time, they will dissect you. And I think we all know that Brady, you give Brady time like he did in the Super Bowl against Atlanta, that dude dissected them in the second half, just like Darnld did. So I think that's the only correlation I'll make between those two. But I felt like he played a great game. He had no issues really, truthfully. And I thought they ran the ball quite effectively with Walker. I also think that they ran the ball quite effectively with the Rams. I thought Corum he put off a lot of good runs on them. I think the first down that Cooper Kupp got when they needed one. I mean, and then you got Stafford when, in all honesty, he should have been done because it was on 4th down. Remember when he does that sneak? Because he had to, basically, and he gets that 1 yard, or 1 or 2 yard first down, which that extended the drive. If he doesn't get that, they turn the ball over. There was a lot of good things about this game, and there were some bad things about this game. But I got to tell you, I thought both of them slugged it out, and it came down. I mean, if you remember, they were slugging it out in that 3rd and 4th quarter, back and forth, before ultimately it just didn't work out. When Williams stepped out of bounds, and then he came back in bounds to touch the ball, and of course that was a loss of down because it's an illegal touching of the ball. I thought that was a big faux pas on their part. But ultimately, I'm gonna give credit to both teams. I think Sean McVay, in my opinion, got out-coached in this game. I think McDonald did the better job of coaching, but ultimately, these were 2 competitive Warrior teams, and the better team won. And Seattle just played a hell of a game, and I'm going to tip my hat to them. And yeah, man. And Bobo, don't forget Bobo's touchdown. I mean, that was a hell of a catch he made. It's a good game all the way around.
Chris, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I thought it came down to just a couple plays. These are 2 real evenly matched teams. I mean, if you look, the Rams outgained them in total yards, outrushed them. Yards per play was the Rams. Rams had a couple more first downs, but the 1 turnover, that fumble really killed them. But the end of the first half, you scored a touchdown, you get the ball back with a couple minutes left. Seattle still has their 3 timeouts, and instead of getting a first down, putting a drive together, making them use those timeouts and getting any time off the clock, they were too aggressive and threw the ball 3 times, a couple of them being deep shots, which at that point really didn't make no sense. And you give the ball back to them, they get a touchdown right at the end of the half, and that was the 4 point. That was the difference in the game. Yeah. So to me, that play, that sequence at the end of the first half really hurt the Rams. But both teams are good teams. I still think the Rams are just as good or a little bit better than Seattle. Seattle got the win last night, but they played 3 times this year. All 3 games, game that was decided by 4 points or less. So I mean, these teams are right there. Stafford played a real good game. Darnold had a good game. I mean, Stafford had a rating of like 120, 127. He had no turnovers, 3 touchdowns, a bunch of damn yards. Darnold played probably the game of his life, best game he's played probably since he's been in the NFL. I thought, especially early, he looked real good early in that first quarter. But NFL has to figure out this damn catch rule.
Yeah,
because if you're telling me that 4th quarter when Cooper Kupp catches that ball, catches it, holding it out here, hits the ground, and the ball comes out, I've always been told that you have to survive the ground. If that's a catch, how the hell was that?
You're going back to the other game. Yeah, I agree.
No, the Rams game, Rams Seattle game.
Okay, I was thinking of the one where Cooper, the Bills game, when he went down and the ball got stripped.
If you're going to call that the Bills game, if you're going to call that an interception and not a catch, how the hell was that a catch?
I agree.
He caught the ball, he got tackled, it hit the ground, the ball comes flying out. They called a catch on the first down. It was a big play in that game because they've been punting the ball. So they got to figure out the catch thing. Nobody knows what a catch is anymore.
I think
If
they
you're
also
going
need
to
to
let a
fix like
catch,
part of the foul. Like
if
I
you're going
don't
to
think
let
he
a
had a
catch,
first down.
yeah, Brandon Cook should have
Oh
got.
yeah, because he got it. He got the touchdown, but they called it back because it said once the whistle blew, everything after the whistle didn't matter, which is why they brought it back and then gave it back to the Rams,
No,
the ball.
no,
I agree
you're
with you. I
wrong.
didn't. That was a bad call too. I agree. I don't
No, he's
disagree.
wrong.
Yeah, but they got to
Huh?
figure the catch thing out.
Yeah.
'Cause if that's the catch,
Yeah.
Brandon Cook's catch last week should have been a catch, not an interception. Like you got to figure it out. But no, it was a fun game to watch. Came down to the end. Like that's all you can really ask for. And I think we're going to get a good Super Bowl as well. So
I mean,
Yeah, I agree. Frankie, your thoughts on the game?
So I was drinking last night, and like I was watching
yeah,
the game.
I know. Trust me, I
I
know.
was, I was watching the game, but for some reason, like, have you ever had that moment where you're watching a game, but you're like actually like not watching the game? Like I'm looking at the game, and there's only certain like things that I was seeing. So I seen the Jackson Smith-Njigba one-hand catch, which was absolutely phenomenal. That was a beautiful catch. Oh my God, to just hold it in with one hand and not even tuck it in or nothing. You just held that straight out with one hand and caught it. Beautiful. Puka Nacua, amazing game. And this is what made a great NFC Championship game. And this is what we're all talking about. How like this could have been one of the games of the year. Especially that it was the third time that they've seen each other, and it was still back and forth, head to head. And then Chris, coming out with a good theory with the Cooper Kupp catch. Like, was it a catch? Did he survive the ground? I agree with Chris. I don't think he survived the ground. I think it should have been a fumble. But even if it was a catch, I don't think he got the first down. I think he was down by at least half a yard, and they said it was a first down. I don't think it was. Just because you reach the ball out, which is weird to me because when you're scoring a touchdown, if the ball is passing the pylon, it's a touchdown. But when you're doing it trying to reach for a first down, they're gonna mark you where your knees down, your hip, or your elbow or something. It's not gonna mark where the ball is. So that's another officiating thing where Chris is trying to point out that they need to fix a bunch of things officiating wise. Surviving the ground, what's a catch, what's not a catch, what's a first down, what's not a first down. Like it's just so much going on. But at the end of the day, it was a good game. I really focused more on the end where I stopped drinking to like focus more because I started realizing like, all right, this is a 4-point ball game. Now I got to see who the hell we're gonna be facing in 2 weeks. I got to get focused now. And then I'm like, damn, man, Sam Darnold, like, this isn't the Sam Darnold that we used to bully back in the day. This is a different Sam Darnold. This is the Minnesota Vikings Sam Darnold. You know for a fact that Minnesota is kicking themselves in the ass right now for letting this guy walk. But it worked out on Sam Darnold's favor because you went to a better team that has more weapons, better running game. But listen, I agree with Chris. I think we're gonna get a good Super Bowl. It's gonna be really great. I can't wait to see it. People keep overlooking our defense. Don't overlook our defense. I mean, Chris has been pointing it out for the last 3 weeks now, and I get Chris like 2 weeks ago when we were going up against the Chargers. Chris didn't even think that we'll be in this position. Chris thought we were one and done. Everybody thought we were one and done, but everybody kept overlooking our defense. And yeah, Drake May hasn't been looking good this postseason, and it's because of the fact that he's paid 3 of the top 5 defenses. Now he's got to go to the Super Bowl and play the number 6 defense, which Tony, I was trying to correct you earlier. I don't know who told you that Seattle's the number 1 defense. They wasn't. Denver was the number 1 defense, followed by Houston was number 1, Denver was number 2, and the Chargers number 5, with Seattle number 6. So we got to play 6 top defenses in 4 straight weeks. I'm giving credit where credit's due to Drake May, and I'm gonna give credit due to Sam Darnold as well. He had a great turnaround in his career. Beautiful. He finally reached. He's the first quarterback in the 2018 draft class to make it to the Super Bowl. That's over Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and some others that we really don't care about because they make the Super Bowl. But it's a great accomplishment. But I'm gonna sit here and say, listen, I'm not gonna overlook the Seattle Seahawks, Jay. I know you know that, and I'm just here for the ride. I'm enjoying this ride. I've been saying it ever since, the postseason started. I'm just sitting here and I'm enjoying the ride. Win or lose, I'm not going to get upset at myself because I'm proud at a year 2 quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl with a year 1 head coach in this franchise. It's just a bright thing for the future, especially with, we still got cap space next year. We have 11 draft picks. It's a huge beginning to Drake May's career. And it's a huge accomplishment to Sam Darnold's career to finally make it here. So we're going to get a great Super Bowl. I can't wait. And to only think this, We get Bad Bunny at halftime, baby. Let's go.
He's in a dress.
I agree.
He's not wearing a dress, Jay. He's not wearing a dress. It's been a dress.
Oh, is it a
already.
kilt? It was white. Looked like a wedding dress to me with a jacket top. I don't know, man. Frankie, he's Puerto Rican. You're Puerto Rican. Can you explain your culture? Because I don't understand it.
Yeah, sometimes
I saw the picture. It looked like a dress to me.
Sometimes we like dress. Listen, we have such a long,
Let's have hot summers down there. You need all that extra information.
That's what I'm saying. We have a long third leg that we can't always fit into jeans.
Oh my God. Okay, Roger that. That's TMI. That's too much. Tony, back to you, please. Too much.
Okay, guys. It is going to be a great Super Bowl, and people underestimating New England. I seen people said online were saying that we just seen the Super Bowl game with the Rams in Seattle. New England don't have a chance. That's bullshit. New England's got a good chance. So I think that 1-2 running punch with their running backs, I think will keep them in the game. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Guys, let's move on to some NFL coaching news. We had a big one yesterday or the day before. Mike McCarthy going to Pittsburgh. Jay, you know a lot about that guy. I've heard a lot of people saying it's a terrible hire. Personally, I don't think it's a bad hire. With the coaches who were left out there, I think McCarthy will do a good job. I think they got to figure out. Pittsburgh's got a lot of issues. Are they a Super Bowl ready team right now? I don't think so. Can they make some changes and get there? I don't know. But Jay, let's go to you first and what you think about that coaching move.
Yeah, typically coaches, as we all know, in Pittsburgh, start out there very young, and then they usually leave when they're a lot older. Mike Tomlin was there 19 years. He's like 54 now. He probably got in his 30s. I think the same thing with Cowher and so forth. So I'm interested the fact that they actually hired a guy that's in his 50s or 60s. I can't remember how old the guy is, but he's definitely a lot older. So I think they hired him. I think McCarthy is a gap fill coach for them until they figure out the coach that they want. I think they're probably going to bring in some coordinators, throw them up underneath McCarthy, and probably groom them to take over for McCarthy at some point. I got a feeling that they're obviously going to lose this year, and I think this is going to be the first year they need to lose. They need to lose so they can start stocking up on draft picks, things like that, and possibly get a quarterback that they've never really had. Since Ben Roethlisberger left, they've really never had a true quarterback. It's been a bunch of gap fills that have maintained it, which, by the way, everybody knows Mike Tomlin is a master at getting the most out of a gap field quarterback. I think we know all the winning seasons he probably wouldn't have with somebody else. That's amazing. But I honestly think that they're going to take a losing season. They're probably going to get the quarterback of the future. But I think McCarthy is just there to kind of keep them going until they get ready to turn the reins over to a much younger coach. Because you're not going to get 19 years out of McCarthy. You're going to get maybe at most 2 or 3.
Okay, Chris, your thoughts on that coaching hire? Maybe.
He went to the bathroom. Oh,
yeah. I think it was a real good hire. And I don't know where Jay gets that McCarthy's only going to be there for 2 years. He's not 100 years old. We've seen coaches coach till they're 75. The dude's like 60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't that old.
Yeah.
He's 62. Yeah. He could coach 10 years easy. I think it's a good hire.
Late 50s, 60s. I just don't believe him. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We know why you don't believe him.
Well, you called me by my name. I thought it was. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Yes, I'm done.
Okay, just making sure. But no, I think it's a good hire. People want to talk about McCarthy. He's a Super Bowl champion. If you put his resume up with Tomlin's and up with John Harbaugh, that everybody wants to say how great of coaches they are, he has pretty much the same exact record, pretty much the same resume. But for some reason, people want to kind of shit on him. He's good with quarterbacks. I think what they're going to do, I think Aaron Rodgers comes back for 1 year so they can find him, and then they'll get him a young quarterback. I don't think they'll lose this year. I think they'll be the same as they were last year, be competing for a playoff spot and having a chance. I think Rodgers comes back for 1 year with McCarthy. They have that relationship. I think he's going to come back for a year. They'll get him a young quarterback to get him ready, and then their younger guy will take over the year after. But no, I think it's a solid. I thought it was a real good hire. And I honestly thought from kind of the get go, I told that I thought McCarthy might end up there. He's from Pittsburgh. He just has the ties there. And he's only their fourth coach ever. That's why I don't think it's a gap coach. Pittsburgh don't do gap fill coaches. This is their fourth coach ever in their history of their organization. He unless this just was to go like completely terrible, he's going to be there basically until he wants to leave, probably just like the other coaches. If you think about it, Bill Cowher left on his own terms. Mike Tomlin left when he wanted to leave. Pittsburgh don't just fire coaches out to be firing coaches. So that's why I don't think it's a gap fill. But no, I think it's a good hire, and I think Pittsburgh will be competitive next season. And then you get McCarthy a young quarterback they can work with. He gets him a good OC. We've seen what he's done with young quarterbacks. We saw what he done with Favre, which was a more established quarterback when he got there. But look what he done with Aaron Rodgers, bringing Aaron Rodgers up into that system and what the success they had. So I think he can work with quarterbacks. So I think he'll get the right defensive coordinator in there. I think it's a good hire for the Steelers.
I think the big key is what you just said. I think getting the right defensive coordinator and changing that defense. That's what the Pittsburgh was built on for many years, that defense, and it's went down, in my opinion. What do you said bring a young quarterback, and you think they draft somebody this year, or do you think they're going to try to find maybe a young quarterback on another team already? What do you think they do?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Malik Willis could be a guy that they try to bring in. Maybe he could be the gap quarterback, especially if Rodgers don't come back. But yeah, I think the draft this year just depends on where. I don't even know what pick they are. A lot of it depends on who's available. I would almost think if Rodgers don't come back, you try to get a guy like Malik Willis or somebody gap fill this year, and maybe try to get your quarterback next year when the draft is a lot deeper at the quarterback position.
Yeah. And Frankie, your thoughts?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think they're gonna to answer Chris. I don't think they're gonna get a quarterback in the draft. They're probably gonna have to go out and get a quarterback in free agency or through a trade. Who will not say that Kirk Cousins might be Pittsburgh's quarterback next year, but I do think with this hire we're gonna see another year of Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna want to finish his career with the coach that he started his career with, Mike McCarthy, especially a coach that is the only coach that helped him win a Super Bowl just for 1 year. I do believe that he will be back. I agree with Chris. I think that this is a great hire. They needed an offensive-minded guy in there. They've had a defensive-minded guy for a long time. Now you get an offensive-minded guy to change your offense. But like you said, Tony, get a good defensive coordinator in there. Fill in some spots in that defensive line and stuff like that. Because I think Cam Hayward, much respect to Cam Hayward and his career, but you can't beat Father Time. And I've seen it this year. You're not aggressive as you used to be. And it's not because of how you play and your playing style. It's just because your age is getting up there. You're not as quick as you was before. And then with the TJ Watt injury, how effective is that going to be, next year with his lungs and everything like that? I don't think it's going to affect him much, but he's going to need some help on that line and in the defense. Offensive coordinator, you're going to have to look for one because Arthur Smith ended up leaving, going to Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, for their offensive coordinator position. So you're gonna need some help over there, and I think Mike McCarthy will get the help. I think Jay is just sitting there saying that he's gonna be there 2-3 years just out of hate, because he was a Cowboys head coach. I think Jay is just like, hey, he did 2-3 years with us. I think he'd be the same there.
Yeah.
And it's not. Listen, Jay, he didn't do nothing bad with you guys. If anything, he took you guys to playoffs. He gave you guys reasons. So I mean, you should look at that like, when Mike McCarthy's a winner, he won with you guys.
He did bring in Zimmer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he didn't, it's not like he, really screwed the pooch with you guys, Jason Garrett style. But he got you guys some winning season. He got you guys to the playoffs, and I think that's what he's gonna do with Pittsburgh. Everybody keeps overlooking that Pittsburgh is still a good team. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. I think that they're gonna make it to the divisional round next year. And I do think that they win that division next year as well. With this hire, Mike McCarthy, we just got to wait to see who's he going to bring in as offensive coordinator, who's going to bring in as defensive coordinator, and who he's going to get, to snap the ball in the center. Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers for one more year, or is he going to go young? I think he sticks with Aaron Rodgers and then probably go young. But if Aaron Rodgers decides to retire and not come back, don't call me crazy, but I think that Mike McCarthy and the Steelers are going to try and target Kirk Cousins and take him away from Atlanta, and have him start for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay. That wouldn't be bad. That
Yeah,
wouldn't be bad at all.
I can see that.
Okay,
I
guys,
don't think Atlanta's going to let. I don't think Atlanta's going to let Cousins go. I don't think they believe in.
so.
I don't think they believe in Penix. To be honest with you,
Not with Stefanski going there. I don't think.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Stefanski and Cousins have a relationship too because they were together in Minnesota.
Okay, guys, let's talk about some other coaches. Give you quick thoughts. We'll run down. Let's go Atlanta since we mentioned Stefanski. Chris, your thoughts on the hire of Atlanta getting Stefanski?
Terrible hire. How can you hire a white guy that's a 2-time coach of the year to a city of Atlanta that's a black city? They don't want Stefanski there. It's a great fucking hire. It's a great fucking hire. All these people that bitch about stupid shit. It's a great hire. Look what he done in Cleveland. When he got to Cleveland, how many games did they won the year before? 0 or 1. Took them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and then the owner decides to kick out his franchise quarterback and bring in a guy that's more interested in going to get massages than playing football. Guarantees all his money, and it's been a fucking Rolodex of quarterbacks. Stefanski, to me, is a good coach. I think he's going to do real good in Falcons. But, yeah, I love the hire.
Chris, quit holding back and tell us how you really feel.
Oh, my God. He went a whole 360 turn. He went down the Hood Street real quick.
Well, I know who that was targeted at. I know exactly who that was targeted at.
All I'm saying is I think we need to have diversity in this show. And I just want to say for all of us, Jerry Maguire, I love the black man. I love the black man.
I thought it was a good hire, too. I agree with you, Chris. Frankie, what do you think?
I agree with Chris. I do agree with Chris. I think this is going to be a great hire for the Atlanta Falcons. And I've been telling people too, like my boy Eric, he's a Giants fan. When they were looking for a head coach, I'm like, Kevin Stefanski is not a bad coach. He's over here like, I don't want him. I'm like, you're looking at him because he's a Cleveland Brown. Like he won 2 Coach of the Year awards with the Cleveland Browns. He actually went to the playoffs with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, don't overlook him as a coach. Now you're going to Atlanta with a good quarterback, good running back, good tight end, decent defense. I mean, and a good wide receiver too. So I mean, Falcons might look real scary next year getting a good head coach in there and Kevin Stefanski. I mean, we already know how that division is super trash, super weak. So this is going to be an easy victory for Kevin to try and turn the Falcons around and win that division and go back to the playoffs. I mean, Cleveland fans are going to be pissed off if Kevin Stefanski takes the Falcons to a championship game. Not a Super Bowl, but if he takes it to an NFC championship game, the Cleveland Brown fan base is going to be pissed off. Just like Tennessee's pissed off with Vrabel taking the Patriots to the Super Bowl. Cleveland fans are going to be pissed on this. It was a great hire. Good job at Atlanta. Good job by Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan was the key focus part on getting Kevin Stefanski here. So that was a good thing. I can't wait to see how they look.
I agree. Jay?
Yeah, I think you can't put that last year or even a couple of years on Stefanski, man. That was all the GM and that owner. Look, I don't know of any ownership group. I don't even think Jerry would, and that's saying a lot. I don't even think Jerry would have brought that guy in. With 23 counts of sexual assault, and then you're going to give that man a fully guaranteed contract. I think that was mistake number one, and what became a lot more mistakes after that. So I put a lot of that on. Matter of fact, they just extended Watson just so many more years just to kind of get that cap number down of that dead weight that they still owe him. So I don't see Deshaun Watson going anywhere. So if I was Stan Stansky, I'm glad they fired me because I need to go and find me another job somewhere else where I get away from this ownership group that's giving me all these multiple quarterbacks with all these multiple issues and think I can make something out of it. No, a coach can only do so much. You get what the GM gives you. And that GM gave him a lot of poo-poo. And they expect him to resurrect it. No, it doesn't work like that. So no, I think that, because of, and again, Chris said the relationship between him and Cousins. I think that's a great thing. He's going to go to Atlanta. He's got weapons. He's got offense. He's got defense. I mean, there's a lot of things there that he can do great with. And like you said, Matt Ryan really has done a great job since he's taken over there. So I expect him to have a much different version of himself than what he had in Cleveland. And again, Chris even pointed out he had some good years in Cleveland. Not like he didn't have good years in Cleveland. So I expect him to do stuff with Bijan Robinson and company. I'm curious to see what they do.
Hey Frankie, you think that that Matt Ryan hires himself as the Falcons quarterback to play for Stefanski? Makes him come back?
That would be awesome.
He was sitting there in the booth, watch Rivers come back after 5 years sitting on the couch. I think Ryan might
look, if they can do it in Major League, if they can do it in Major League, and if Jordan can come out of retirement and become a wizard at 40 years of age, hell of it. Matt Ryan, get your ass in there. You just saw what Phillip Rivers did.
I don't think he can because he's like vice president, player personnel, so he can't do it. Because
I like that though, Chris. I like where you went with that. That was pretty freaking. I like that.
I sit here and I say all the time, like, for a fact Tom Brady wants to take those Booth headphones off and just go and gear up as a Raider right now and help these Raiders, get back to the promised land. I know Tom Brady wants to get back on the field, and I know Matt Ryan wants to get back on the field too. But Matt Ryan will always be remembered as the 28-3 guy. His favorite month, March 28th. And I think that's what haunts him. I don't think he's gonna come out of retirement because of that. That's not a good, that's not a bad possibility. But his time is up. And you're fine doing what you do. You still get rings as a vice president.
What are you doing here? Well, as a 403, I activated myself.
I don't think he would come back either, but that would be funny. But I do agree with you guys. I do think he's done a good job since they brought him into that role.
He said Phillip Rivers as coach, as his quarterback.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be able to hire Rivers as a quarterback. Rivers gonna be a coach.
Man,
he took his name out of Buffalo.
Yeah, I would too. That's another situation with the ownership group that's not exactly all there.
We'll get there. Okay, guys, let's talk about the New York Giants. They brought in John Harbaugh. Frankie, your thoughts on that?
Frankie, let's go. Right there. All right, he's
okay.
not there. He might have stepped away.
Okay, let's move on to Chris. What do you think, Chris?
This is another one. I thought it was a great hire as well. You got a young team with the Giants with you got a young quarterback, young wide receiver, young running back, some young guys on defense. I mean, they got a talented team over there in New York with a lot of these young guys that they've drafted. They've done a pretty good job drafting the last couple of years, but they haven't been able to figure out the quarterback position. And then I think it looks like they might have found their guy. He played pretty good this year, other than some injuries. But getting a guy like Harbaugh that's going to bring in the culture, he's a proven guy that's won in this league. He's going to bring that culture in. I think getting the right OC is going to be a good thing. It sounded like it might be that Todd Monken. I think would be a good choice. They've worked together, and he's had. Hell, if you look what Lamar did with the first couple of years under Monken, like Lamar was putting up great numbers. I know this year wasn't the greatest, but I think it's a great hire. To me, the Giants needed some stability, and this is a guy that can give you stability. Because to me, Harbaugh's not a guy you're bringing in and he's only going to be there 2 years. He's a guy he's probably going to be there 10 years or more. Like, because he's not a guy you're not going to have a dumpster fire season with him. You might go 8-9, 9-8, something like that, but it's not with him as your coach. I'd be surprised if they go 2-15 or like that. He legitimately, to me, makes him a competitive team where they're going to have a shot to go with 500 or better every season from here on out with him as coach. And then you just got to try to build it up. But I think you give him a year, I'd say 2 years. This year, I think he'll get things going, and then next year, I think you'll see them competing there in that division with the Eagles and the Cowboys and them teams being up there to try to get division championship.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. Jay, your thoughts on that hire?
Hey, real quick, I know the Giants have a top 5 pick. Is it 2, 3, or 4? I know they're top 5 though. I want to say it's like the second or third pick because I know the Raiders got the number 1 pick.
It's not second, I know.
Right. It might be third or fourth. But I know it's top 5 given their record. And Chris will find it for us. But we're looking for that. My thing is, and then Chris hit it on the nail. The key point was they brought Monk over. And one thing about Monk is he's the one that really developed Lamar Jackson. And he did a lot of good things with Lamar. And I feel like that's what Darnld needs. And Dart's already a good quarterback, but I think he's going to get even better with the development under Monk and the discipline under Harbaugh. Those are 2 key categories, development and discipline. And I think Harbaugh and Monk bring that. And also they're going to have a good defense, right? Harbaugh's a really good defensive-minded type coach. I know he'll find the right coordinator to put over that defense. So I look at it as a good thing. Chris, did you find out by chance what draft number?
The 5th pick.
Okay, so so he's going to get the number 5 pick. I mean, I'm sure he'll either go offensive line or defensive line. I would have to imagine. I would imagine probably offensive line, just to kind of give Dart and Scatterboo somebody to help open up more of those holes. So I think that's what he's going to do. But yeah,
if he's there, I'd go for Baines from Miami.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that because the Cowboys need him. Don't put that out there. Yeah. I need Baines to last at number 12, Tony.
Cowboys too far back, Jay.
I don't know. But
I agree with you.
Draft picks.
I don't think Bain makes it out of the top.
Top 5.
I was gonna say top 8
because they could package those 2 picks though. Maybe.
I seen McShay put out a thing, and he had Baines going 7 for 8. I don't think he'll last that long either.
McShay has him going 7th or 8th. I figured top 8.
He won in top 5.
Damn.
In McShay's. Seen that today.
Well, I'll tell you, man, after that disaster with Dable, they had to bring in a coach that's going to resurrect that team. They can't go any further, because you had Judge who didn't do anything. Then you had Dable who didn't do anything. So they got to get it right this time. They really, honestly, have to get it right. So I look for them to upright the ship under Harbaugh.
Frankie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your thoughts on Harbaugh with the Giants?
I think this was a huge pickup for the Giants. He just brought in a defensive coordinator from the Tennessee Titans. I think that's going to be huge for the Giants. Now you just got to go out there and get a great offensive coordinator. I think the Giants are going to be a little bit scary next year. You got to, the number 5 draft pick could have had the number 1, could have had number 2, but then you want to settle and get number 5. I mean, then there's no better way than to ruin your franchise before you hit the door than winning some couple games and losing out on top picks. But I think you still get a good caliber player at number 5. I think John Harbaugh is gonna, he's gonna get that right player. I'm hoping that they don't go defense. I think their defense is already set. There's nothing wrong with going with another wideout to pair with Malik Nabers or Neighbors, whatever you want to call his last name. Malik ACL tear. That's what I like to say. You got Cam Scatterboo in the back. Get a number 2 to back alongside him, and then go offensive line, protect Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart needs some protection. I think they got a good fit with John Harbaugh. Yeah, you can hear my kids in the background. This is why I hate snow days, but it's gonna be it's a good hire for the.
That's because you tried to put a New England jersey on her, and she don't want that mess.
All right, guys, let's move on to the next hire. Let's go to Miami.
Give me a Dolphins jersey. Don't give me that damn New England.
No, we're talking about Miami. There we go. Let's see if Frankie's wife's happy with that hire with Jeff Hafley. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about this guy. I think was he the one with San Diego?
No, he was the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, Green Bay. That's right. Frankie, your thoughts on Miami and that hire? Maybe not. Okay, let's go to Chris.
I don't know enough about the guy. I do think it's probably a pretty good hire. You had to move on from McDaniel. The guy is known as a real one of the top defensive minds, upcoming defensive minds in the NFL. He was at Boston College before he went as a coach before he went to Green Bay. But if you look, since he's been to Green Bay's defense has been ranked top I think 10, 12 in the league. Their defense has been a lot better since he got there. So yeah, I think it's, and I've heard a lot of good things about Dave. He's a culture builder. He's a leader of men. I've heard that from a lot of players or former players and players that have been around him. So yeah, I think it's a good move for Miami, because at Miami, for one, you need a culture guy. You had McDaniel, that was a offensive wizard or whatever people wanted to call him, but there's so many obstacles and just different things in Miami that's available for players to go get involved in and go do. It's not like living in Indiana where you're surrounded by cornfields. Like you're in Miami. There's a lot of things that can occupy your time and maybe not get you thinking about football or making football the number one thing. So I think Miami needs a culture coach, a guy that's going to hold the players accountable, get the players to all buy in. And from what I hear from like former players and stuff, and he's had results on defense. So I think it's a pretty good hire. I just don't know enough about the guy to know how it's going to go. But to me, I think it's an upgrade from what they had, because you got to build a culture there.
Yeah. Jay, your thoughts? Jay, your thoughts?
I thought y'all were cow tippers in Indiana.
Some of that, a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I thought you guys were cow tippers out there.
A little bit.
No, maybe it's Texas. I know we do cow tipping in Texas. Maybe I'm thinking of Texas. I don't know. No, yeah, I didn't really. I like that Havli. I mean, they went offensively, like you said, with McDaniel, and I didn't think the offensive thing worked too good with Tua. I don't think it worked too good with Ewers either. So the fact that they went defensive, I don't think Tua's going to last much longer either. I think he's on his way out the door. I don't think the people in Miami, the fans, certainly I don't think want Tua. So now it kind of makes me think, okay, where do you go? Do you promote Wilson and think you can develop him? I don't know about Ewers. I think Ewers is kind of more of a second string quarterback. I don't know if he's ready to take the reins.
Hey Jay, rumor is that Hafley and Malik Willis were real close.
Yeah, that's what they said on Coast to Coast earlier today. That makes sense.
That a lot of people think that that Hafley's going to try to get Willis there in Miami, but I guess they were real close and had a real
because then he's going to want a mobile quarterback.
So I could see that might be a possibility. At least sense. A guy that could maybe be a gap guy, or who knows? I mean, Willis he played pretty good. He might turn into a starter, but he could be a guy to at least get you away from Tua, and then decide what you want to do after that.
And you're not going to have to spend a lot of money on him either.
Maybe
I think he'll be affordable.
Chris is pushing hard for Malik Willis to get a starting job. Like, ever since we've seen the game,
you know what though? But I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong.
He's not. He's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's wrong. I think Malik Willis would be good.
But like, it's like ever since the one game.
I would say Mac Brown, but I don't think San Francisco's going to let go of Mac Brown.
I've been noticing it week after week. That one game that Malik played. Every week, every time we talking about it, every team we talk about with a new coach or anything like that, Chris is just like, well, he has a connection with Malik Willis. Hey, Malik Willis is going to be out there. He's not, everywhere. I love it. I absolutely love it because, like, Malik Willis showed that he deserves a starting role. And if you have a connection with this guy in Miami and you play well in warm weather, why not go there? I mean, might as well.
Yep. Yeah. Frankie, what do you think about the hire of Hafley in Miami?
Honestly, I love this. So, like, my wife's a Dolphins fan. You guys all know this, and I'm like, I'm explaining to her about it. He's a defensive coordinator for the Packers, and she's the type of person that looks up people when players or coaches. She wants to know who they are, which I love that about her. Right? She's trying to get some knowledge on her teams and her coaches and her players. And when we're looking up the history of him, he actually coached Albany, which is not that far from me. It's in my area. He went to Siena College. That's not far from my area as well. So he's actually from our area here in New York, and coaching in Albany and stuff like that. He's coached plenty of good players that went out to the league, like Logan Ryan. He's coached, and I forgot another name that I literally had in front of me the other day. But I know he coached Logan Ryan, and he coached a couple of Super Bowl people. So this is a good hire in Miami. I feel like this is a great hire for them. because, like Jay said, you had the offensive minded right, and it didn't go that well. Clearly, your defense wasn't up to par as it was the previous seasons and stuff like that. So to get a defensive minded guy in there to just go ahead and bring in an offensive coordinator that's actually a good offensive coordinator, not just a a little shot caller offensive coordinator guy. I think Miami can do something really well with this guy. He had a great coaching career here at UAlbany. So I think this is going to be a great fit for him. I don't like that he's going to have Tua, honestly, and I know my wife's going to have a problem with me saying it, but Tua turned the ball over and has too much concussions, and I think it's just trying to go a different route. And I don't think, and it's no knock, Jay. I don't want you, turning this up a notch and, we're going back and forth and stuff like that, because this is just what I've seen the last couple games. But I don't think Quinn Ewers is the answer just yet as well. I feel like you bring in a veteran quarterback like Malik Willis. Chris, I'm bringing it up again. You bring in a veteran quarterback like Malik Willis and have Quinn Ewers learn under him. They're both kind of young. I think you bring that in with a quarterback that you're well known with, and ride it from there. And and we'll see how it does. But I think it's a good hire for Miami, honestly, to go a different route and a different angle. You just need a different quarterback.
And one thing, real quick, he was a wide receiver. I mean, when he played, so he knows the offensive side of the ball as well. And when his first coaching job was on the offensive side of the ball, then he switched to defense, and he's been coaching for a long time. He was in Ohio State in 2019 as assistant defensive coordinator. He had stints with the San Francisco 49ers on the defensive side of the ball. So it's not like a guy that just been coaching a couple of years and then getting thrusted into there. He's had quite a bit of experience there, and they did announce who his OC is going to be already as well, which is going to be Slovic. They used to be
that's
Houston
right.
Texans.
Slowick got that.
Yeah, they hired
Yes.
Slowick as the OC,
Yep.
And he's going to be the DC. So yeah, I think it's a pretty solid hire by the Dolphins.
Can I say one last thing and then before we move on? Frankie, I did say that Quinn Ewers is probably better at the second string than I had told the guys that I didn't think Quinn Ewers was ready to be a starter. So now I'm not going to get elevated because I agree with you. I don't think Quinn Ewers is the answer at the starting position. I do agree with Gonzo on Malik Willis because the fact that when Slowick was over there with CJ Stroud is a mobile quarterback, and he had him phenomenal that first year, and then of course they let him go. So I think him and Malik Willis would work really well together because I think he would fit in his system. So I think that's a good point to think about.
Do you think that Slowick, if they kept Tua, could he turn Tua around?
No.
I think Chris had it, and I think all he has. I think the injuries it's just not there. He's too injury prone. So I think he's ready to move on to somebody else at this point.
Okay, guys, let's go into Baltimore. They hired Jesse Minter, and Chris brought up interesting point about Mr. Minter that I didn't know. I don't think he knew till maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago. Chris, let's go to you first.
Yeah, I think it's a good hire. Actually, I think it's a real solid hire. I really like the hire, but there was only one thing that's a little weird to me about it. I'll go into that in a minute. But I had known when I saw him coaching before, but I'd forgot. Minter actually graduated high school 10 minutes from where I live. He graduated from Yorktown High School, which is just a town right outside the city of Muncie. It's literally a 10-minute drive from my house to the high school. So he graduated from that high school. Now he's an NFL head coach. So I thought that was pretty cool. And he's 40 years old, so he's just 4 or 5 years younger than me. He moved around a little bit in high school, so he didn't go to Yorktown all 4 years. I think he went there, I remember right, 2 years. I think his junior and senior year because his dad was a coach. No, I think it's great. I think it's a great hire. Dude's had success everywhere he's been. The only thing makes it a little weird to me is you fire John Harbaugh, and then you go hire a Harbaugh guy. This guy was with the Ravens for like 3 years as a defensive assistant with John Harbaugh. Leaves there, goes to Michigan, is Michigan's defensive coordinator for 2 years with Jim Harbaugh, won a national championship leaves there, goes to the Los Angeles Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, been the defense coordinator there for the last 2 years, and then now you're hiring him back. So I think it's a great hire because the guy is a good defensive coordinator, good culture builder. I think he'll do a great job there. But it's just kind of weird. You fire Harbaugh and then you bring in a Harbaugh guy. So the culture, I'm sure he's going to tweak the culture a little bit, but the culture is also going to be kind of the same as well. So I thought that was a little strange, but I do think it's a good hire, and I think him having that relationship too with Lamar already and with a lot of those players can help as well. Right. So I think it's a solid hire. I just thought it was strange you fire a guy then hire one of his disciples.
Yeah. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm right there with Chris. I think the fact that he already has a relationship in Baltimore, I think there's like 5 Baltimore players that are still left on that roster when Mentor was actually there. So I think, Lamar Jackson already has a relationship with him being on the team. So I think it's a good hire. Defensively, it's great. I didn't know he was that far or that close to Muncie. I think that's a pretty cool fact. I wonder if he's a good cow tipper, but no, I just tease it. But no, I think he's a good hire. I think when you have a relationship, and look, he's been under some great Harbaughs. I mean, the Harbaugh family, there's a good set of coaches to be under and learn from. So I think it's a great hire as well.
Okay. And Frankie,
I don't know jack shit about this guy.
We just told you. We gave you all kinds of information.
I know. You could tell me all you want. Chris just told me a story of his past. I still don't know jack shit about this guy.
Okay.
All I know is he's got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. He's got a solid defense. I think he's gonna have a great time there. If he's a Harbaugh guy, like you guys said, I mean, we've seen coaches come from coaching trees and have success. I think if you guys say what you guys are saying, then he'll have some great success. I'm sorry for the background noise. That's a snowblower going on right now. I think he's gonna have great success in Baltimore, but you got Lamar Jackson, you got Derrick Henry, you got great offense over there, you got a great defense over there. I mean, I don't think they got rid of Harbaugh because a failure or opportunities or anything like that. I think they got rid of Harbaugh because they wanted to go a new route, a new scheme. I think Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh wasn't seeing eye to eye no more, and you spent all that time and keeping Lamar Jackson there and giving them the money and the contract. There was only one thing you could do, and that's get rid of a coach that you had there for 18 years, and go younger. So I mean, I guess he'll be a good hire. I gotta wait to see next year and what he's gonna do. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Again, I don't know jack shit about this guy. I don't care what you guys tell me. You could, like Chris, you could tell me a background story of his childhood, what high school he went to. That's cool. You could tell me what college he coached. That's cool. You could tell me who he coached with. Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh. That's cool. I don't know jack shit about this guy. All I know is you're getting Lamar Jackson and you're getting Derrick Henry in your palm of your hands. You better be successful in Baltimore, because if you don't, that's a tough place to be a successful coach. If you're not a successful coach, the fan base is gonna freaking roar at you really bad. So I mean, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, guys,
and that's what I'm curious about. For the last 18 years, they've had that same style of offense. I wonder how much are they going to change up that offense, or since he was still an existing coach there, if they're going to continue that type of offense.
Well, their offense had changed. Their offense had changed. It was more of their defense but their offense had changed because they had Greg Roman as their offensive coordinator. Then they got rid of him and brought in Todd Monken, and they went to a whole different system. But you're right, on the defensive side of the ball, it's basically been Harbaugh's system for 19 years.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's move on to the other coaching change that's happened. Tennessee hiring Robert Salah. Okay, and I don't know, but anyway, Chris, your thoughts on this? Okay.
I love the hire. I love the hire because I think Salah is a good coach. I thought if you watched last year, you really saw the Jets defense get terrible after they got him out of the building. His problem with the Jets, they just couldn't ever get the offensive side of the ball right. Couldn't get it going. But Tennessee's such a dumpster fire. I don't know if he's going to be able to go there and have any more success than what he did with the Jets. I would just love to see Saleh get an opportunity at a place that had a little more stability. Seems like, hey, let's choose the two worst teams in the league with some idiot owners and see if we can turn them around. The Jets and the Titans. It's like, come on now. But I think he'll have a better chance with Tennessee than what he did with the Jets, just because the Jets are the Jets. But no, I like him. I think he's a great, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Look what he did this year with San Francisco with that defense, with all the players that were missing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you lose one of the best linebackers in the league in Fred Warner. You lose Bosa, and they just kept putting people in there and figuring it out. Like, he didn't have no pass rush and got to what? The NFC Championship game or divisional round game. But, it got a lot farther than what anybody thought they would. Hell, it was almost the number 1 overall seed. I mean, came down to the last game of the year to try to get the number 1 overall seed out of the NFC. So, and I think he had a lot to do with that defense. So, I think it's a good hire. I just don't have no faith in the Tennessee Titans front office. I mean, you had your coach, and you didn't like the GM didn't like the way he operated or whatever, so you kick him out and you see what he's doing. So I just don't trust the Tennessee Titans front office, but I think Saleh's a good hire.
Frankie, your thoughts?
Yeah, cause you see what he's doing. Thank you, Tennessee. No, I think honestly, like I want to go with Chris's route and think that you're in a dumpster fire. I don't think you're gonna turn this franchise around anytime soon. But then again, I think he is going to change that defense because, like Chris said, look what he did with that defense. And I feel like it's Fred Warner more. You throw Bosa's name out there. I feel like, listen, Bosa's so injury prone. Like, I'm still surprised he's still in the league. Like, this man is like, I'm going to come back for one more year. Plays like 1 game, 2 games, and then boom, out for the rest of the season. That's like every freaking year now. I keep forgetting that he's in there, but he's doing it, right? Robert Saleh did it, and he took him to the division round with so many less talents on that defense. Due to injuries, and I think he can turn the Tennessee Titans defense around. It's more the offense for Tennessee with me. You got Cam Ward, but you got no one to throw to. You got no running back. I mean, you gotta fix that offense up. You got no offensive line, and I think it's gonna take time. And I'm hoping that Tennessee give Robert that time. Unlike the Jets, obviously you get Aaron Rodgers in there, and Aaron Rodgers is like he thinks he's Tom Brady, and you could just get someone fired, and that's what happened. So hopefully Tennessee gives them a chance. But I'm going to throw this out there, and I want you guys to really click this in real quick. There's a certain player that's not going to come back to the 49ers. Robert Saleh is known for being a defensive coordinator in the 49ers. I think Robert Saleh is going to give Cam Ward that number 1 target and Brandon Ayuk. And Brandon Ayuk is going to go over to Tennessee with Robert Saleh and pair up with Cam Ward. Now, if you get that, Robert, that you got your number 1 target, bump up that offensive line to protect Cam Ward, get a number 2, or something like that. I mean, Tennessee can quickly turn it around faster than people can actually think they can. But if they can't, you got to give Robert the time to revamp the Tennessee offense. I think he can do the defense quickly because he's a defensive-minded guy. But the offensive style of play, you got to give him some time.
He has to find a good offensive coordinator. They need to. If they get a good offensive coordinator, I think he'd have a chance and that would be a good move to get Ayuk. I would like that for Tennessee, but I think that's going to be big as who their OC is.
I agree. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, here's my thing. You're absolutely right. If I'm Tennessee's ownership group, I'm pissed off because we let Vrabel walk, especially where Vrabel's at now and the success he's had, especially with a young 2-year quarterback. I mean, if I'm them, I would be pissed. But anyway, that's spilt milk. So you got to move on from it. I agree with you. I think he does go get Ayuk. Ayuk is obviously went out of his favor in San Francisco, so he's on the move. So that would be an easy thing to pull over. As far as Saleh goes, I'm kind of like Frankie with the other guy. I just don't know who he is as a head coach because he went to the damn Jets, and that's such a crap organization that I don't know. I know he's a great defensive coordinator because we saw him do it with San Francisco, like Chris pointed out. He did it with the Jets. You take him out, and then the Jets went to poop. So I think defensively, He's going to make Tennessee great. I just don't know how well he's going to be as a head coach because the first experience wasn't that great. So I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I just don't know who he is really as a head coach as of right now. But what I do know is this. He's got to get it right in Tennessee. He cannot fail in Tennessee and think he's going to get another coaching job. I think if he goes to the Jets, they don't do anything, he gets fired. He goes to Tennessee. If they don't do something in Tennessee and he gets fired from Tennessee, that's 2 bad back-to-back jobs as a head coach. So he's got to get it right. I don't know what he's going to do there, how he's going to get it done, but he's got to get it right. And Chris, I agree. They're a dumpster fire in Tennessee, and he's going to have to sort all of that out. I don't know too much about their GM, but them two are going to have to be simpatico with how they're going to bring in talent and then how he's going to coach the talent that he's given. And if they can work that part of it out and resurrect this Tennessee Titans, unlike what they couldn't do in the Jets organization, then he probably has a really good shot at it. So I think this is my telltale year for Salah and how good of a coach he is with this organization. And we'll see.
I think he was a good coach with the Jets. Like I said, I feel like because he had at the time before he got fired, they were 3-2. The only reason he got fired from the Jets was because of Aaron Rodgers. Him and Aaron Rodgers didn't see eye to eye. Aaron Rodgers wants to be the voice of the franchise, not the team, but the voice of the franchise. And you can't be a voice of a franchise. You're not Tom Brady. You're a one-time Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback. You can't just go in there. Like, I get it. You had winning seasons. You had success. You had 3 MVP trophies. You have one Super Bowl MVP, 1 Super Bowl championship ring. But, like, you're not that guy to just go into a franchise and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we should do. I don't want to, be coached by this guy because, he's not seeing the things that I want to do. Like, you can't do that. And I feel like, listen, like, you're on the coaching tree of what's this guy's name? Sirianni, right? Oh, no, not Sirianni. Sorry. Shanahan. Yeah. And I feel like, you're a good coach. But it just so happened that you ended up having Aaron Rodgers, and I feel bad for him. You got, you had a 3-2 record when you got fired. And then once you got fired, they went total bombshell. Like the Jets literally only won 1 game after Robert Salah got fired. Literally, I think they finished the season with 4 wins. So I mean, it's not him being a bad coach, Jay. And I'm hearing what you're saying. It was more the fact that Aaron Rodgers kicked him out of that Jets organization. So I think like I said, I think he's gonna have a good time.
Look, Frankie, Frankie, hold on. When you're in a dark room and you're smoking that much ayahuasca in Costa Rica, you could be whatever you want to be, okay?
Oh, well, you guess what? He could be, but guess what? He's not going to no Super Bowl. So that's what he was wishing. And he ain't going there no more. But I think he's going to do great in Tennessee. Like I said, he just needs to, like Chris said, get an offensive coordinator, the right one, and just fix that offense up. Get the offensive line to protect Cam Ward. Bring in Brandon Ayuk since you have a connection with him with San Francisco, and get a number 2 to back up Ayuk, so that way he's just not always getting double teamed, and it puts it all on Cam Ward again, because Cam Ward is also a mobile quarterback. So if he doesn't have a receiver out there, he can use his legs. You also got to get him a couple, like Tony said with the Patriots, you got to get him a 1-2 running back. You can't always have the quarterback run the ball. We've seen that with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs this year. It didn't work out. So you got to get you got to get a running back or 2 running backs. You get Brandon Ayuk in there, get a number 2, and I think that the Tennessee Titans could turn it around quicker than people expected.
Okay, guys, we've still got 4 teams that don't have coaches. We'll talk about that on Thursday Night Blitz. We'll table this, and we'll talk about. Let's move on to some Major League Baseball. And we got Frankie here, and I want to get his thoughts. I know he's a big Yankee fan. So let's talk about Cody Bellinger, resigns with the Yankees. Hit 272 last year, 160 hits, 98 RBIs, and 29 home runs. Frankie, how are you feeling about that?
Well, first of all, Tony, I'm not happy with the fact that you're throwing baseball into me when my football season is still going on. I understand your football season ended like 5 weeks ago. And Jay's ended
my football season last week.
Oh, okay. You're college football, so I'm talking about NFL.
No, I'm talking about the only thing that matters. IU. Hey, I do want to bring something up, Frank. Hold on a minute. Now, I know you're happy with your team, and you have every right to be. But I'm gonna say, just like you said in the group chat about IU, if you don't win the championship, it don't mean shit.
Matter, yeah.
It don't matter. So remember,
say it for the people in the back, Tony. Say it for the people in the back.
If you don't win this championship, this shit don't mean nothing.
That's true. But then again, when you have a year 2 quarterback, you're so young.
I
It's
will hear
okay
it.
to
I don't
lose
care.
some.
I don't care.
It's okay to
IU
lose
had
some.
that
You
one
got more
nothing.
excuses
I
than
don't
my
hear it. I
ex-wife.
don't hear it. You didn't say that about IU was coming from fucking zero. You said if they didn't win the ship, it didn't mean shit. So I'm saying the same thing to you. And don't get me wrong, I agree with you. I'm just giving you shit.
No, I know.
If they don't win the championship, hey man, they're gonna be there again. But
I
I'm gonna
know.
say the same shit you said to me on the chat. If you don't win the ship, it don't mean nothing.
That's
right.
true. That's in every sport. You don't win a championship, all that success don't mean shit. It's Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby, baby. You're not
Yeah.
first. You're always last. So it don't matter.
Hey, first or last.
Yep.
That's not true. You could be second, third, fourth, or fifth.
You're still
Yeah,
last.
I love it. I love
True,
it. That
yeah.
his dad
Look at
looked
the
at us.
Cowboys. We were third.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of.
It's true. No, but all right, real quick, since you guys want to get me into my baseball. Listen, first of all, I got 2 weeks. All right, so you're lucky I don't have a game next week. You're lucky the Super Bowl ain't next week.
True.
So I got 2 weeks. We could talk about this. I like the re-signing of Cody Bellinger. It's huge. Honestly, we really needed that bat. We needed the left-hand hitter. I feel like, oh my God, why'd you put this shit up? Oh my God. Anyway, ignore that. I'm sorry for the fans for seeing that stupidity.
We're gonna be there next year.
gonna be where?
Hold on. Hear
Don't
what
be mean.
Jay
Don't be mean.
just said. Hear what Jay just said, because every freaking year Jay be like on the opposite side.
I
Like,
said, don't be
I'm not
mean, man.
biased. You
Dang.
know I'm not biased. You know I'm always with the. I'll tell you the real stuff. On January of 2026, Jay said we will be there next year. How quick did the Cowboy fandom just come back on him alive? He had a pause on
I'm
that.
just teasing. We
Hey,
got a
when you
long
said
way to
we,
go. You know
Are you
that.
talking
Calm
about the
down.
Cowboys or the Texans?
Oh, either or.
Hey, Chris, watch this.
No, it was a good move, Tony. We
They
needed
don't call
it.
me quick draw for nothing.
I don't like the fact that the Yankees are going back. I don't like the fact that the Yankees are going back on the same roster of last year. I feel like we should do more. We should have done more. We did get some extra pitching in there, but I'm not fully confident. Toronto looks absolutely dominant right now in what they did in the winter. The Mets look dominant in what they did in the winter. Boston even looks a little bit better in what they did as well, bringing in a couple solid pitchers. So, I mean, as of right now, in this point, as not being a Yankee fan, and because my team is still, we're still playing football and we're going to the Super Bowl, I can't be fully biased right now. I got to be a straight up podcaster, straight up analyst. I can tell you guys right now. I think right now the Yankees are probably third place. They could be third place in this division, probably fourth, because I'm overlooking Baltimore and they got freaking Pete Alonso. So I mean, you never know. They could be third, they could be fourth. All I do know is me and Jay are going to a game in August, and we're just gonna, he's gonna be upset to watch him, his Astros lose. But it was a huge move, Tony, to bring back Cody Bellinger. I feel like Aaron Judge needed that, so that way he's not by himself. But I need Cody Bellinger to be better next year than what he was last year. He was good last year, but I want better. I want him to see. I want to see better, especially when October comes. You were disappeared in October. Trent Grisham disappeared in October. The only person that showed up was Aaron Judge. I need to see a different October if we can make it there, because, like I said, we're probably gonna be the third seed in our division, maybe fourth. But I'm not fully confident in my Yankees this year for some reason.
Okay, Chris, your thoughts on the Cody Bellinger pickup or resigning?
I think it's a good. I mean, it's a good re-signing. You had to keep him. I agree with Frankie. They haven't really added a whole lot to the roster yet, but you had. I mean, you couldn't let him go. Over the last couple of years, you've lost a couple players to the Mets and some other teams. You can't lose Bellinger as well. Yeah, I thought the Yankees would have done a little bit more as well. They've kind of been like our team, Dad, the Reds, which hasn't done a whole lot either. We've signed a few players here and there, but not really anybody of real big substance yet. So I'm kind of a little worried about that, because I thought the Reds would do a little more in the offseason as well. But yeah, Yankees haven't done a whole lot, but I think Bellinger was a good pickup. Like I said, you have to have him. He's a solid player, and if you lose him, then if you would have lost him this year and with not bringing anybody in, then you're in trouble. So
There's a difference between the Yankees and the Reds. All right. And it's called management. All right. We don't have a stupid manager named Terry Francona. That's a stupid name. This is so dumb.
Jay, your thoughts on the Bellinger re-signing?
Well, you got that crappy manager in Boone. Hadn't done shit since 2009. Just sit there and be quiet.
Don't you
hey
ever
now,
former
man,
Yankees?
hey now,
Don't
don't
you
be
ever former
slandering the
Yankees?
Boone name. Don't be slandering the Boone name. The Boone name has a lot of connections to Cincinnati.
Oh, I'm
Shit,
sorry. I
yeah,
didn't
he
know you were a
does.
Yankee
He's
fan,
a-
Chris. My bad. I'll
Not a
apologize.
Yankee fan. Did you hear what I said?
For anybody
Boone,
else who out there
you
has
can
an issue
slander
with
the
it, I'm
Yankees all
certainly
you want.
sorry to offend you saying Aaron Boone.
You can slander
I
the
know.
Yankees
He's got
all you want. Just don't
connections.
slander the Boone fan.
You got connections. You went out there cow tipping in the field. I get it, Chris. I got it. Okay, I will say that about the Boone family. Oh my God. God, is it that any harder? Okay. Back to what I was saying. No. I look, offensively, they haven't done much, but I think offensively the team is fine. Bringing back Bellinger continuity-wise, it's good. The problem with the Yankees for me is that pitching staff. I would have thought that I would like to have seen them go after more pitching than anything. I still don't believe in that pitching staff. That's just my thing. But offensively, I think they're great. And I think Frankie's probably right. Given what Toronto's doing and maybe what Baltimore and even Boston's making some moves in that pitching rotation. Tony, we've been talking about that for a little bit now. So I think they probably are maybe third place in that division.
Yeah, it's possible.
But it's a good pickup. It keeps the continuity of their offense together.
Frankie brought up the Mets, and they made a couple of moves, couple of trades. They made a trade with the White Sox, got Lewis Robert Jr. Now, he didn't have a great season last year. Hasn't had a great season. He's had some good seasons, but it hadn't been the last couple. They're hoping to get him going. He only batted 223 with 53 RBIs, 85 hits, 14 home runs. But they also made a big deal and got Freddie Peralta from Milwaukee, 17-6 last year with a 2.70 ERA. So 2 moves by the Mets. Chris, what do you think this means for the Mets? Do you think the Mets can maybe take that division and make a move on making the championship game, and not necessarily the World Series, but could they make it there to face the Dodgers or whoever, but probably the Dodgers?
I think they're going to have a chance to compete, but just because you bring in big name players and you spend the money, don't guarantee it. One, they got to stay healthy. I'm trying to remember. Last year, didn't they get off to like a slow start and then kind of picked it up and then kind of fell apart again?
Yeah,
if I remember right. But no, I think they'll have a chance to compete. They brought in some guys that they're trying. It's not because of lack of ownership effort is definitely one thing. I mean, some of your smaller market teams deal with that where the owner don't want to put up the money. The Mets don't have that problem. They'll spend the money. They just got to get the right guys with the money. But yeah, I think they'll have a chance to compete for the division.
I like the Peralta deal, the Robert Jr. deal. I know the Reds were interested in him. Some people think that he can get it going again. I'm not sure on that, but I love Peralta's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I like Peralta. I think that was a great move. I think the Mets are making a couple of moves. I mean, they just lost Alonso, so they have to do something to kind of counteract that a little bit. And they brought in a good pitcher. They lost a good hitter. They brought in a good pitcher. Now, I will say about Alonso, he has kind of been on the downturn a little bit towards the back end of his career with the Mets. But in all honesty, I mean, we know what the Dodgers are doing. We know what the Yankees used to be the big spenders. Now, for some reason, under Hal Steinbrenner, they kind of became less of a big spender. And then the Mets kind of took that crown there for a little while when they had that big $300 million payroll when they had DeGrom and Scherzer and all them guys. That didn't work out for them. So then it translated itself over to the Dodgers. So I think as long as the Dodgers got that organization and what they're doing, it doesn't really matter what the Mets do. I mean, I just don't know if they could compete. I don't know if anybody can compete with the damn Dodgers at this point. But it was a good pick. I mean, in terms of their pitching staff, it was a good pickup. It's just, I don't know. It's just a bad taste in my mouth ever since the Dodgers did what they did in terms of, can we compete with them? Can anybody compete with them?
That's true. Frankie, your thoughts on what the Mets did? I know you're not a big Mets fan, but
Yeah, I can give 0 fucks on what the Mets are doing. The Mets are going to be the Mets. I mean,
Yeah.
Jay said he said a question and an answer. That should open everybody's ears. I mean, the Mets one time they spent $300 million. Shit, the Mets spent amount of money last season the same as the Dodgers, and they ain't doing that. They didn't even make the postseason. I mean, I don't care what the Mets do. I don't give a. You could get a Peralta, you could get a Bo Bichette, you could get a guy from the White Sox, ladies and gentlemen. They traded for a guy on the White Sox, and I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
You're a good hitter. Blah blah blah. That's cool. The only reason they aimed for you is because you're the only hitter that was hitting for the White Sox. Were you gonna do that when you're in the big in the big world of the Big Apple in New York? I don't think so. I don't give a shit what you do. Listen. They only did this to make Juan Soto happy, and he's still not happy. I know he's not happy. I know he wants to come back to the Bronx, but he fucked up. He chose money over anything else. I don't care what the Mets do, Tony. I don't care what the Dodgers do, Jay. We all know what the Dodgers are doing. They're cheating, but nobody wants to mention it. Nobody wants to talk about it. They cheating. I guarantee you right now, half their pitchers and half their hitters are going to be on an injured reserve until close to October, just like they did last year. And they're going to fake injuries. Oh, he's got a bone bruise in his knee. Bullshit. Yeah, right. Oh, Blake Snell's arm is hurt. He's got a rotator cuff soreness. Bullshit. Tell him to stop whacking this shit. I know for a fact they're cheating some way or another. I know that. Listen, I'm so upset with the Dodgers, and I hate how Jay's like, that the Dodgers are now what the Yankees should do. No, the Yankees never did this stupid shit. We never. Jay, have we?
You weren't. Really no, when George was around, y'all weren't buying players and paying players and all this money.
No,
they don't call you the evil empire for nothing. You weren't. It's not like you were budget rentals. You were bringing in all kinds of people.
So we're over here spending $2 billion.
No, not now. I said not now. I said well, yeah.
Even now,
I mean,
even now,
during that time period, what they were spending that time period probably was equal to the billions.
Even now, if George Steinbrenner was alive, he wouldn't be doing this shit.
Yeah.
But like I said, let the Dodgers do what they're doing, because this is gonna fuck up their future. I don't care. Let the fans enjoy it for now, because a couple years from now, they're just gonna feel like Dallas Cowboy fans, and that's no knock to to you, Jay. I'm saying Dallas Cowboy fans, because a couple years from now, they're gonna be 30 years ringless, 30-year championship list, 30 years probably not making the playoff. It's gonna come back to bite them in the ass, and the same shit's going for the Mets. It's gonna come back to bite them in the ass because you're spending so many money on these players, to where you're not even keeping these players. You're letting these players walk at the end of the season, or you're trading them at the trade deadline. So let them do what they're doing. I'm riding my boys until the wheels fall off, and I don't think the wheels are ever gonna fall off. So let's go Yankees. Fuck the Mets. Fuck the Dodgers. The hell with the Reds and Terry Francona.
You know what the crazy thing is? You know what the crazy thing is you're right. At some point, this is going to catch up to them, and they're going to go down. But you know what? Even when they're down, they're still going to be paying them dudes all that money because they got it all deferred.
Yep.
Okay,
guys.
Let
them do what they're doing right now. Let the fans love it right now. Let them enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, because there's going to come a time where we're going to see Jonathan Mantis on Facebook, and I ain't scared to say his name. We're going to see Jonathan Mantis on Facebook again, talking all that shit. Oh, fucking Dodgers, what the hell are we doing? We shouldn't have spent all that money. Oh, but fucking 10 years from now, we're going to come back to this moment saying 10 years ago, Jonathan, you were all up on it. You were excited. We tried warning you guys. Nobody want to listen. Nope.
That's awesome.
I don't think they want it to 2040, because I think 2027 is going to be a lockout. There ain't going to be no baseball. That's my opinion. Yeah. One other trade, guys. We had Texas getting pitcher Mackenzie Gore from Washington. You guys got any thoughts on that, Jay?
I don't know much about Mackenzie Gore. I know he's a pitcher, but I don't know much about him, honestly.
He didn't have a great record the last year or two. Well, I think he had a pretty high earned run average, but I think he's a better pitcher. I know Texas is really happy to have him, and I've heard a lot of good things about him. But it wasn't. If you look at the stats the last couple of years, it wasn't. It didn't pop out or anything. Chris, you any thoughts on that?
No, the only thought I could have is the fucking Pro Bowl has gotten so bad, so ridiculous that Shador Sanders is a fucking Pro Bowler this year now.
What? Shador's a Pro Bowler? You mean
Yeah,
the
they just added
legendary
Shador
status is coming
Sanders to
true?
the Pro Bowl to take Drake May's spot since the Patriots made the Super Bowl. So that shows you how big of a joke the Pro Bowl is. Shador Sanders is a Pro Bowler.
Jared
Yeah,
Goff
it is a
over
joke.
Sam
That's
Darnold.
messed up. That's laughable. That is seriously laughable. You might as
Frankie,
well look for Blue Rivers in that thing.
Frankie, you got any thoughts on Gore? I'm gonna say no.
I'm sorry.
You
Any
got no
thoughts on
thoughts.
You got any thoughts on Mackenzie Gore going from
who?
Washington?
Any
to
thoughts
Texas?
on who?
Mackenzie Gore.
Oh, hell
I would say that he don't have any thoughts.
Hell no.
Okay, we're gonna move on to one last thing, and we'll get out of here. Jay brought this up, Chris, before you got on, but I know you watched it. Your thoughts on the UFC that this happened this past Saturday?
It was a good card. The main event was awesome. Justin Gaethje and Patty Pimblett put on a show. Gaethje, to me, dominated most of that fight. I thought Pimblett won the third round. First round was kind of close, but I think Gaethje had to win it because of the knockdown. But Gaethje won the second, fourth, and fifth rounds. Third round, Gaethje kind of took the round off and really didn't throw much. After the whole fight, he was just walking Pimblett down, and then the third round, he kind of just stood there. But man, they went at it. Pimblett showed how tough he was because there was a lot of times I thought that fight was over from a couple of shots. And and don't get me wrong, he landed some good shots on Gaethje. There was a couple times that I thought he hurt Gaethje a little bit. I thought that was a heck of a fight. I thought the O'Malley and Song Yadong fight was a good fight. I felt like O'Malley solidified that win in the third round of that fight. He controlled that third round and got the win. I felt like Rose Namajunas kind of got screwed a little bit. I thought she won that fight and lost by decision. Acosta was just too fast for Derek Lewis. I love watching Derek Lewis fight. Dude's entertaining, but Acosta was just too fast for him. Lewis couldn't keep up. But no, it was a real solid card for the first card on Paramount Plus. I do like the 9:00 start time. I know it's only an hour, but it made a big difference. It makes a big difference when you're watching the main event around midnight to 12:30 instead of 1:30, almost 2 in the morning. They still have too much downtime in UFC, but it's always been like that. Like the main card was supposed to start at 9. The first fight started at 9:32. So it took him. There was 32 minutes of just talking and promoting the show and the ring entrances and all that. Like you could have shortened that up easy to 15 minutes and started the first fight at 9:15. Like to me that was a little long. The way that Frankie, I don't know if you watched the show. I don't know if any of you guys. I know Dad didn't see the beginning.
I watched it.
I know Dad didn't see the beginning of how it opened up, but they straight up copied the way the beginning of WWE making their debut on Netflix back in last January had the big white curtain around the wrestling ring. Well, this time they had it around the octagon. Played a similar video, almost identical to what WWE did, except it was UFC telling the story from it, and then it dropped. But the opening of that UFC to Paramount was the exact same as what WWE to Netflix was, which they're owned by the same company, so I'm sure it was the same. Yeah, it's probably even the same cloth, the same setup. But
that's what I said. That's the TKO
as soon as it started, I started laughing. I said, "This is the same thing. This is the same opening of WWE when they made their launch on Netflix."
Nope.
But no, I thought it was a good card, and I really enjoyed that main event.
Okay, and Jay.
Yeah, you know what they say, Chris? If that model works, why go away from it? I guess that's what they were thinking. But it makes sense that they're owned by the same TKO, so that kind of makes sense. By the time I had to stream it, I thought I had Paramount Plus. I didn't. I actually had Paramount. But Frankie, he's cool, whatever's. And so I got to watch it, and I asked Frankie if he was watching it. He said he was. So I said, all right, well, let's compare notes at the end of it. And so I watched it. And the one match I got to see was Peralta. No, not Peralta. I'm thinking baseball now. Pimblett. I know, right? I saw Peralta fight. Hey, it was a hell of a fight. Hey, let me tell you what happened. Hey, what happened? Peralta called Nolan an idiot, and Nolan beat the hell out of him. But that's not what happened. No, Pimblett I thought he did good, man. I thought that guy's crazy. He's got a little craziness in him. Like, I mean, and I told Frankie, I said, I feel he's got some Conor McGregor in him. You know, just the way he is, the way he was kind of when the music was still playing, he's getting his stuff put on. He's kind of dancing while he's getting. I was like, man, this is some straight up Conor McGregor stuff. So I already know, and I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan. I like the crazy ones. I think the crazy ones are the best. And so I was already getting excited for it, you know. And then here comes Catchy, and they all get put in there. And I mean, I thought there was going to be some ground and pound, but it was more pound on boxing than it was actually on the ground. So I was like, I was ready for some wrestling, but it was just a lot of boxing. But I'll tell you this, Pimblett, however you say it, that man could take a punch to the face. Catchy hit him twice in the eye. And the dude told him
in the eye.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm saying. And the second time he said, or the first time he said, hey, stop having your hand open. I mean, how many times did he tell the guy to close his hand? I counted at least 5 or 6 times. I think Catchy said, hell with it. I don't care. I'm going to do what I do. Yeah, but it was, man, I tell you, man, I ain't never seen somebody get hit like that. That dude can take some punches and he don't stop. I mean, he really don't. I mean, no matter how much he did, he was bouncing right back. And so I liked it. I like boxing. And that's what it felt like, more like a UFC boxing match to me. But it was great. I loved it. I thought both of them did great stuff, man.
Frankie, your thoughts?
Oh man, I loved it. I'm really upset that Amanda Nunes wasn't in this card. Like, she was supposed to be in this card, but of course, you know, someone has to have like a little back hernia, neck injury type shit. And they had to take Amanda off. That I feel like Amanda Nunes adding into this card would have made this pay-per-view a whole lot, you know, much better. Was not that it was bad. It was a great pay-per-view. It really was. You know, my boy Sean O'Malley getting the win over Song Yong Dong. However you say his name, those I don't understand how he.
He's stupid. He's so stupid, man.
That's how.
Song Yadong. That was his name. What's his name? Song Yadong.
I know, man. It just
Okay.
all I keep thinking about is that one where the couple. I think it was like 16 Candles, where the old couple adopts the Japanese boy. Remember? Hey, come on, dog.
Yep.
I mean, like that was the main fight I wanted to watch. Was my boy. Cause I'm a huge Sugar Shane O'Malley fan. I like Shane O'Malley. That's my dude. I was telling.
There we go. New York internet.
This shit rolls on me again. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I got you, man. You got super close.
Got you, man.
It's my phone. It's because I'm using my phone. I'm a huge Sugar Shane O'Malley fan. That's the main fight. But I like the main event. I feel like the main event was really great. I feel like, you know, Paddy the Baddy was getting hammered. It looked like he was like scared after he got that knockdown that almost ended the fight. Paddy looked really scared. I didn't like the way Paddy was swinging as well. I told my wife, I'm like, he swings like a freaking chick. For some reason, he's swinging like a chick tonight. But you know, it was a good one. It went 5 rounds. He got bloodied. I don't know how he connects shots to Justin, and Justin just like he wasn't even getting cut. He wasn't like getting swelled up. Nothing. Like Justin's just like, I don't know how the hell that was happening, but it was a great fight. They got the you know, the call right. I'm over here saying like this is going to decision. If they give this to Paddy, this is freaking rigged, because Paddy, there's no way Paddy getting knocked down so many times. His face is all bloodied up. His eyes getting all swelled up. His nose looks broken. His lip was busted. Like everything was busted on Paddy. There was no way he was winning this match. But it was a great pay-per-view, and I can't wait for the next one. And I'm probably not going to hear you guys talk because my phone, and I'm using my phone, is all fucked up. It's not my connection in New York, which it probably is because I'm in a snowstorm. But you guys have a great day. I'm going to hop off here, and your ESPN champion is chilling.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Like I said, I can't hear you right now.
You don't have to hear me. Just get the hell
I can't hear you. You guys can hear me, but I can't hear you.
You don't have to wait.
I can't hear you, Chris. Stop talking.
For their UFC pay-per-view because of got one this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever you say. I'm just gonna say I agree. I agree with all you guys. Okay.
All right.
You're good.
Just text me what you said.
Hey, Hey, Frankie, just say
Okay.
yes.
Okay, he's gone.
Let him
Okay, guys,
go.
we're going to get out of here for today.
Frankie gone. He's gonna go. I just want to say one thing real quick. Just one thing before we get out of here. No, I just wanted to say you were right though about the length of the show. It felt like it took like 15 minutes just to get through the announcer when he was talking his bit.
Yep.
And I was like, man, can you make this a little bit shorter?
Yeah.
Just a little bit? Because I mean, it took a long time just to get through what he's saying. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, they drag him out. Chris, won't you promote our show for tonight real quick?
All right. I'll try to do it off the top of my head because I don't have the picture in front of me. But tonight, 6:30ish. That means between 6:30 and 6:40, somewhere around there. That's when we start. We don't have an exact hard set start time, but we have a packed show tonight on Gonzo's Wrestling Room. We have former Ring of Honor wrestling world champion Michael Elgin will be joining the show tonight. You've seen him in New Japan Wrestling, Ring of Honor.
TNA.
Dude's been everywhere. I've got to actually sit down and talk to the guy personally. He's always been great guy to hang around since I've known him. I know some people have problems with him, but hey, that's everybody. Then we also have this former WCW World Championship Wrestling wrestler, superstar TJ Powers, who's also wrestles in Indiana for WCWO. But he's a guy that was on in WCW back in the early 90s, I think.
Yep.
And then we also have the Inside the Dub crew. Reggie Edwards and Wes Ryan are going to join us tonight. Talk about their big end of the month show coming up for WCWO Wrestling. And then we have Sal Del Torre. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. But Big Money Wrestling. They have a big show coming up this weekend. Damn it. The Heist.
Yes.
The Heist is the name of the show. It's Big Money Wrestling. He's going to be on the show. It'd be his first appearance on our show talking about that. So we got a stacked house tonight. Starts right around 6:30. So join us tonight for that. On YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and all that good stuff.
Hey, guys, we'll be back Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, with our Tuesday night hoop show. Going to talk a little bit about Giannis being heard. I've got the top 10 greatest NBA finals of all time. We're going to talk some NBA standings and maybe some other stuff. So join us Tuesday night for that.
There you have it, folks. Check them out. Check all those show times out. Like I said, make sure you check out Chris and Gonzo and Tony tonight for that packed show. You won't be disappointed. And it's your boy Jay, OG, Tony, Chris Gonzalez. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on GSR's YouTube page as well as ESEN's YouTube page. And we appreciate y'all.